Ascension, the battle becomes fierce. So if you are not spiritual intelligence, I mean sophisticated spiritual intelligence, you can't cross the zone. Yeah, most believers are still struggling fighting demons. Not even to talk about wrestling against principalities. Most believers have not even have the light and what it takes to wrestle against principalities and powers in the high places. So when you get stamina, light, and knowledge to conquer them, and then when you put on the sun, Revelation 12, the woman clothed in sun, that was actually a point of the starting for Ascension. It is then that the red dragon will appear. So red dragon won't even appear when you have not overcome principalities and powers. And all of so the battle, most people have not even understood the game plan because Zion has been barren all these years. So Zion has no sons because the sons of the Pentecost have not been able to put on armor of ascension. They have not mounted the wings to soar beyond the region and operation of principalities and powers. Yeah, so that's why God is releasing what it will take for the ascension, the depth of the revelations of Christ. So until we wear this as garment, the woman clothed with sun, it was when she was clothed with sun that the red dragon came and stood before her to devour the child. Because when it is actually the gospel of the kingdom that will inseminate that seed in you. So the moment that seed enters, come on, the trouble comes. So when the seed enters, you'll be travailing for the birthing of the son. So the dragon will go ahead. Because every time the man child is about to be born, the dragon will declare war against the man child. Most of the things we are facing now is not even the dragon. They are satanic destructions of Satan. Not for us to see the light ahead, not for us to see the things ahead of us. So Jeremiah said, if men on food weary you, what will you do with men on horses? So if at this point we're still struggling, like some churches are still struggling, casting out devils and all of those things, that actually means that they have not known the right, the sonship right. They have not known their authority to cast out devils. So you got to get to that point before you begin to talk about the knowledge and the light. The stamina, the spiritual energy to conquer principalities and powers, rulers of darkness, and all of the spiritual wickedness and device and manufacture. So therefore, we need to stay with the Lord in prayer. Send us light and thy truth. Let them bring us to your holy mountain. David looked at the whole people hemmed down with the operations of the principalities. He said, who will ascend to the holy mountain of the Lord? Who will come to thy holy tabernacle? Because it's actually a high mountain to ascend. And most of the believers lack the spiritual capacity to ascend Zion. So it takes spiritual energy to transit from Jerusalem to Zion. Though Zion is actually in Jerusalem, you see, Zion is on the high mountain in Jerusalem. So we have had sons of God tarried in Jerusalem for years. And they don't even know there's a place called Zion. Even those that have the idea of Zion can't even go to Zion. Because they love the plain of Jerusalem. They love the landscape of Jerusalem, where they ride on horses, enjoy king's meal, enjoy divine health, enjoy divine prosperity, enjoy the glamour of the Pentecost and the glory of the Pentecost.
Oh God.
So they do not want to die to begin to ascend to Zion, because you have to be naked to be berobed of everything of the earth if you will ascend to Zion. Because anytime people are ascending to Zion, they will come to, you see, tracking it with the journey of the Israelites. They have to come to a place called Gilgal to be circumcised. So if there's any remaining flesh, so they have to pierce us for all the rivers of Euphrates, waters of Babylon, to dry, because if they don't dry, we can't ascend to Zion. That's why we come to the place of altar of incense to give up everything, and then infused with the 4 spices at the altar of incense. And those 4 spices are the pleasure of God. So these are the things that will translate us and allow us entrance to Zion. So at Gilgal, the Lord have to make a sharp knife. You know, when they bring a sharp knife around a man at old age, you know what it means? The pains and the blood and the things won't be easy. And I'm sure you're not going to walk right, walk well for at least a month. So the pain, number one, it is not everybody that will bear the pain. Not everybody will bear the pain. Number two, not everybody will like to open up their nakedness, remove their clothes to be circumcised. It's not everybody that will submit to that.
Not easy.
It's not easy to say, this is my problem. I am a pastor teaching the kingdom. I'm still insincere. Lord help me. I'm a pastor. I still have envy. I still have jealous. I still have lust. Lord, I need help. So to be naked, to be circumcised is not a day job, my brother. So right now we are receiving the seed of the man-child. That's why Yeshua said that at this point now the gospel of the kingdom will return to the church. So to disseminate the pure seed of Christ, the uncontaminated seed of Christ. So for the emergence of the second remnant, the ascension of the second remnant, the ascension of the second remnant, my brother, it must be by the life of Christ. That armor is actually the complete life of Christ. So the first remnant ascended actually because they were clothed with light. You know, when the people saw them, they said, "Kai, no wonder these ones are built with Christ." So they see the light of Christ, they see the revelation of Christ, finding full expressions through them. Until the work was corrupted. It was corrupted after the death of Stephen. After the death of Stephen, actually the work was corrupted. The corruption of the work actually began at Antioch. So a new day is upon the church, actually. A new day is upon the church, a new season. But you see, it takes bride to see the work that God is doing in this season. There's a mention of the whole thing that the Lord is doing is preparing the second remnant for ascension. Yeah. Because if you are not a remnant, you can't ascend. Yeah. So the first remnant is actually Moses' walk. Yeah, is Moses' walk. So there's going to be a continuation of the Moses walk by the Elijah. So the work that God is doing now is the work of Elijah, because where Moses' walk ended, when the walk ended at that mountain, so the same mountain that Moses was taken up and hid inside God was the mountain that Elijah ascended. Yeah, so Moses had to lay the foundation for Elijah's work. So we are actually continuing the work of the first remnant. We are continuing the work of the first remnant, and that work is a pure work. It's a work void of leaven. There is no leaven in that work. It's a pure work. You know, the offering of the Lord must be without leaven. So right now there's going to be a lot of reconciliations. You know, Elijah will turn the heart of the fathers to the children and the heart of the children to the fathers. That's actually a reconciliation work. So if the reconciliation work is not done, there's no ascension. So we're preparing ourselves right now for the ascension of the second remnant. Yeah. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached. Then the end will come. We're actually at the end now. We are at the end. It's at the end that the Zion will begin to have her children. It's at the end of the day that the Sarah Zion, who by faith judged God faithful, and she brought Isaac, at her old age. So this is the end days of the church, which is the church old days. So this is the time that the church is bringing forth her sons. The woman that has been barren. And it is this son that will make reconciliation. They will reconcile all the nations of the earth and bring sons unto God. Yes, they will reconcile all things and then bring sons unto the Lord. Of course, Pentecost can do that. The best that the Pentecost can do is to bring people to see that there is material affluence in Jerusalem. And this is what we saw in the days of the Pentecost, when people know you can be a Christian and own a jet. You can be a Christian and build mansions respected in the society. So everybody now enters church. It is the same apostasy, the desolation that happened in the days of Constantine, that is said that everybody now as a Roman citizen, you can be a Christian. Everybody is a Christian. So everybody brought their idols to the church. And that was actually what defined that work. So what we see now that Babylon and her two children are replicating that also. They are replicating the same thing. But you see, You need to have the dove eyes to see.
Yeah.
If you don't have dove eyes, you can't see, my brother.
That's not lie. Not lie.
If you don't have the dove eyes, people will ask you, what are you talking about? Are you greater than Baba Adeboye?
Mm-hmm.
Are you saying you know more than Olukoye? You know more than Oyedepo? What are you trying to say?
Mm-hmm.
The same thing that happened in the days of Christ. Are you saying you are greater than our fathers and all of those things? What point are you trying to prove?
Mm-hmm.
We speak wisdom to them that are mature.
God.
We speak wisdom to them that are mature.
Mm.
So we are at the segment of the opening of the ark.
Oh God, help us.
Yeah, that's where we are now. So that the nations of the earth will see the eternal counsel of God, the eternal agenda of God. My brother is, when we did the ministers' conference in Afibo,
Mm.
that apostle, what's his name? Is it Hysen? I've forgotten the name again.
Jeffat.
Jeff, yeah, Jeff, he said, I can't, this is not a child's play, it's a man's play.
Mm.
Man, this is actually man's play. That's why we're talking about coming to the manhood of Christ.
Okay.
The place of the measure of the stature of the fullness of God. So men must embody the fullness of God before they can reconcile the earth and have absolute dominion over the earth. But in Genesis 1:26, it said that the man that will have dominion is a man in Genesis 1:26, a man in the image and in the likeness.
Mm.
But Adam was just in the image, not in the likeness.
Like that.
So he
Yes.
couldn't exercise the full dominion. So it was necessary that Adam feed on the tree of life and then commune with God, and over time range, he will come into it. That's why we must understand the redemptive framework. The timings of God is very important, because if men don't understand the timing of God, they're just wasting your time.
Mm.
You must know the time it is legal for men to begin to enter.
Mm.
Blessed are they that know where the joyful sound.
Sound of Zion.
In Psalm chapter 89:15. Blessed are they that know where the joyful sound, for they shall walk in the light of thy countenance, and you will be the glory of their strength.
Hey.
So men can't ascend until the heaven begin to release latter rain upon the earth. And the doctrines of God may distill like the dews upon tender herbs. Yet it must be upon the tender herbs, not upon the strong trees. It's a tender heart. So anybody that is not receiving what God is doing right now with meekness of heart, because it is with meekness that we receive this thing, receiving the end of your faith. Wherefore lay aside all filthiness, superfluity of naughtiness, and with meekness receive the engrafted word of God, which is able to save your soul. Somebody one day told me, what are these people saying? You can't tell me anything again in the Bible. You can't tell me what are you going to tell me about it in the Bible again? In fact, I am the proprietor of a Bible school. I wrote all my handout curriculums. I even wrote the handout of eternal residency and rapture in heaven. So that heart is not meek. So that heart cannot come into the new that heart may not understand the principles of the new wineskin.
Mm.
Man, it must be a new wineskin that will carry this new wine.
Mm. Mm.
Hey, Malagada Bagaya, Maria Sufrena Hatonia, Brenda Jagaya. New wine.
Mm.
The new wine is here.
Mm.
But the issue is the wineskin that will carry this new wine.
Mm. Mm.
Is the wineskin.
Mm.
So the old prophet won't accept it
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because of what they are used to.
Carry.
They can't accept it. They
Not.
can't. Rather, they will fight against it.
Mm.
I think one of the king, I think Elisha was sent to anoint one of the king. I think Hazael, and when he came in, looked at the king of Israel, he wept. The king said, "Why are you weeping?" He said, "Because I've seen what you will do to my people.
Hey.
How you will tear them. Even the ones in the womb, you will rip them off and slaughter them." This is
Right.
actually the prophecy of the church, what the church is going to do to the emergent sons. So, the enemy of this move now is actually the body of
Pentecost.
the body of Christ.
Pentecostalism.
So the body of Christ will fight the emergence of the bride of Christ.
Mm.
You know, the body is not a bride.
Yes.
So the bride is coming out of the body.
Yes.
Just as Adam was a bride, but Eve came out of Adam.
Mm.
So the bride is actually coming out.
Cool.
That's why the dragon is in the garden right now to bring in deception and destructions. But our visions must be strong on this part. Yeah, very strong on this part. Why we look not at the things we are seeing, but the things that are not seen. But the things we are seeing are temporal. So Satan is going to use the sin to distract many believers who do not have strength to focus on the unseen. So there is a weight of glory that is coming upon the church. Paul said that the present predicament and sufferings cannot be compared to the glory that shall be revealed in us. For the earnest expectations of the creation are waiting for the manifestations of the sons of God. The creation are waiting for the sons of God on Mount Zion, who will come to govern the earth and bring in the light of God and crystallize it. Generation will see the ripples of the glory of God as it was seen on Mount Zion after the glory of God left Shiloh. That Psalm 78 bore testimony of. He forsook the Shiloh that he purchased and then choose Mount Zion, the tabernacle of David, to reveal himself, even the mountain that he loved. The scripture in Isaiah 2 said that, I love it in NLT, that in the last day, the mountain of the Lord will be the highest mountain, and it will be the most important place on earth. And all the nations of the earth will come there. Why will the nations of the earth come there? Malika, Embrondosa, Palila, Bregedos, Kalabahaya, and yours, Kale Paria. They will come there because the place have actually become the tabernacle of David. That's why they will come there. Because the throne of God will be lowered in that place which Isaiah prophesied. Isaiah prophesied it actually. Isaiah spoke of it in his prophecy. He spoke of that place. But you see, men will come to the place of seeing the sayings of the Spirit. Yeah, because I think in Isaiah chapter 16 verse 5, he spoke of that. And in mercy shall the throne be established, and he shall sit upon it in truth in the tabernacle of David. So the throne is equated here as the tabernacle of David, judging and seeking judgment and hastening righteousness. Hastening righteousness. So you must understand the operations of the tabernacle of David, that it has to do with setting aside all human effort, human strength, religious system and order, and establish the order of righteousness. That's why we don't come to Zion with the strength of man. You come to Zion with the strength of God. So the tabernacle of David connotes a new order of worship. It's just a new order of worship. Yeah. Come on. They that say these things were declared plainly that they were seeking a country.
Oh, God.
If their mind be full of the world they are coming from, they might have had opportunity to return back. My brother, when you are mindful of this earth system, you will go back.
Yes.
But they that compare themselves with another are not wise. At 50 years, you have nothing to show.
Nothing to show.
You don't have a car. You don't have a house. You don't have fame. You don't have cathedral. You are not being respected in the society. You are not married. You don't have children. Yeah. At this age, man, this is the order and the system of where you are coming from. Man, if you are mindful of these things, you don't have strength to go further. But these guys said, no, we are looking for a country. We are looking for a civilization. You know, they have replaced Christ's pursuit to heavenly pursuit. Yeah. They replace the glory of God with buildings, material things. Somebody build 100 hectares.
You have 1 minute remaining.
And then say that this is the glory of God. This is the glory of God. Man, the moment we call that thing the glory of God, it becomes idol worship.
Yes.
Paul talked about it, that who have changed the glory of God to corruptible images. And the Lord said, you will have no image, you have no other God before me. So we don't attribute the glory of God to things. So the revelation of God is bringing and introducing us or reintroducing us to what the glory of God is, so that we can behold the glory of God. We are with open face, beholding the glory as in a mirror from death.
Your call credit has been